Hello, my name is Philip Wilson, and the title of the talk, I'm not sure what it says, but it's in relationship to relaxed far infrared energy and Lyme disease. Who here is familiar with far infrared energy? Okay, and who's familiar with Lyme disease? I like getting yeses. Okay, this is the relaxed sauna. Would anyone like to try it? Okay, why don't you come on in and we'll put you in right now. Okay. It's always fun to put 4 or 5 people. Sure, you can. And demonstrate what far infrared energy does. My name is Philip Wilson, and I got into fasting in 1971 for detoxification, for cleansing, for feeling better, for feeling rejuvenated, and I got into health foods. I got into ginseng and herbs. And as a result of that, I eventually opened up a health food store about 9 years later. But I was very, very much into holistic health, fasting, cleansing, and feeling creative most of the time. Previous to that, I was a graduate student in mathematics, and I went to Ohio State University in 1970. And then I had some experiences, and I was always into creativity. And so I got into becoming aware that sugar affected me. I quit eating sugar and I became pretty holistic, and all this was done sort of like unconsciously. I was not aware of it. I had no intention. I just was trying to enjoy life more and live it more fully. So what happened is eventually I started selling massage tools, got into Chinese herbs, got into spirulina, chlorella, blue-green algae, and started, living a lifestyle where I was wanting to be creative and tuned in almost all the time. When I was, is this thing working? Yeah, I guess it is. Can you hear me without this? No, oh, okay. Well, thank you for. Let's see, now you can hear me?
Yeah.
All right, so sorry. I didn't realize my voice didn't carry. Now that we've got some people here, I can sort of like do the real beginning of the talk. Hi, my name is Phil Wilson. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I've been promoting the relaxed far infrared sauna and educating people about far infrared energy for 15 years. I personally have been in this particular sauna 20 minutes every morning for about 15 years. I started when I was age 55, and therefore I guess that makes me 40 now, because I figure I'm going backwards in age. Far infrared energy is an energy. It's an energy that many people do not know about. But in 8th grade, I don't know why they don't have the first class in 8th grade. They don't teach you, and I think they should, although I don't like using the word should. But far infrared energy is a light, and therefore it is very fast. It goes at 186,000 miles a second is the speed of light. Far infrared energy goes through clothes, and most people don't know that. But if you go out in the hot sun on a cold day and you close your eyes, you'll notice that you feel warm and toasty inside. And that's the far infrared going through your clothes, and it's absorbed, and it's when you lie out in the sun, your skin gets hot, but when you lie out in the sun, you also feel that wonderful feeling, and that's not from the skin being hot, that's due to the ultraviolet light. The warm sensation you feel, warm, deep to your core, is the far infrared ray energy. Now, most people don't know that humans generate far infrared energy. We all generate far infrared energy. When you hug someone, you can feel their far infrared energy. It's something that all mammals generate. Far infrared energy, the third thing they don't teach you in 8th grade is that far infrared light, even though it's invisible, it's still a light, and all lights we know are reflected by a mirror. So in this particular technology, for example, on the relax sauna, there are two very, very strong, powerful radiators in the base of the relax sauna by the feet that are generating a specific frequency of light. This particular sauna, the relax sauna, uses advanced level of technology. And the light, very strong light, hits the wall and goes through the blue cloth inside and hits the silver and bounces back. And therefore you're in the middle of a light box. And most people, don't quite get it, because we all know that cats lie in the shade. They don't lie in the shade, they lie in the sun. And the reason why is so that you can have the absorption of the far infrared light go through the body. Now, has anyone heard of a 3-dog night? That's in Canada, northern Canada and Alaska, where it's so cold at night you need 3 dogs lying on top of you, keeping you warm, generating far infrared light. See, when I was in the early 70s, I thought 3-Dog Night was a band. And they named it after the fact that their music is to warm you when you're cold, or something like that, I suppose. At any rate, far infrared light goes through the sand. This is really cool. Far infrared light goes through the sand 2 inches and resonates with the water in turtle eggs. And without this happening, the turtle egg embryo is not going to hatch into a turtle. So far infrared is very, very powerful. Far infrared is responsible for photosynthesis in plants. When you have a preemie baby, you use far infrared energy in the hospital. The unfortunate thing is when the baby is normal, they turn it off. All babies in this world born should probably be generated and into far infrared energy for the first couple days, because it's the healing, loving light of the sun. It's the warmth you get from the mother's body. It's the warmth you get from all human bodies. Now, scientifically, we have a booth, by the way. It's 415. It's in the back corner. And we have a chart here. And this is far infrared energy, is a light that comes from the sun. You have ultraviolet, you have visible light, you have X-rays, you have gamma rays. All the energies that come from the sun is far infrared ray energy. Now, about 60, 70, 80 years ago, now I gave you all, and if not, we have more of these that you can take at the end of the show, and you can also pick these up. But in this thing, there's medical facts, 4 pages of medical facts on far infrared ray energy in this 20-page booklet. You also have 5 pages of transcribed testimonies on Lyme disease, on massage therapists raving about it, autism, runners and athletes raving about what far infrared does. Again, it's an energy that resonates with the cells of your body. Now, if has anyone ever, they put their 2 hands together and you can feel the energy between the 2 hands. There's a pulsating you feel in your hands when you just put your 2 hands together about 2-3 inches apart. And you can feel like a pulsating energy. And that's the far infrared, what from one hand is resonating from the far infrared energy in the other hand, and you can feel that pulsation. So when you study the miracles of far infrared energy, and there's a book, Far Infrared Energy and Far Infrared Saunas. The industry was spawned by Dr. Sherry Rogers, I would say. I would give her a credit. She is one of the most well-known authors and doctors. She's an environmental medical doctor by the name of Dr. Sherry Rogers, and she wrote this book called Detoxify or Die. It is a testament about what far infrared energy has done to her left-to-be-dead patients who were very sick. How was that? The sauna. Would you like more? Okay. Well, who would like to try the sauna now? Okay, come on up, and Abba will put you in. So she wrote this book, and there is so much research in this book that anyone who reads this book wants to use a far infrared sauna. It is very, very, very therapeutic, and I highly recommend that you continue to do research. If you go to PubMed.com on the internet, there are dozens of research articles on far infrared ray energy that you could delve into. The topic of this talk also deals with Lyme disease. And I have been demonstrating the relaxed sauna at about 30 shows every year for the last 15 years. And I have put about 100,000 people in the relaxed sauna and have experienced about 125,000 miracles, minor or major miracles, with people's pain going away like in 5 to 7 minutes. Sometimes, you know, the extreme cases are a pain of a 12 going down to a 0 in 6 minutes, whether it be bone pain or a hip pain or chronic pain. Usually the standard is your pain is about a 7 or 8, and we can usually get it down to a 2 or a 3, literally in 5 to 7 minutes. Back pain usually takes about 10 or 12 minutes to get it down to around a 2. Just as a, you know, but why? See, I'm here to educate you about why far infrared works, what it does, what's so special about it. And also I wanted to talk about sweating and Lyme disease. But anyway, we went to a hyperbaric conference, hyperbaric oxygen conference, and far infrared ray also generates oxygen, and it's a wonderful, I call it a Batman and Robin tool. There are people who promote hyperbaric oxygen chambers because it oxygenates the body, and there's been a lot of research on the benefit of those particular devices. They're sometimes $30,000, $17,000 each. They're not something that every home gets. If someone has been critically injured with a brain or something, sometimes they go to that. So we go to those conferences and we do very well there because the relaxed sauna is a wonderful companion. If you put people in for 5 to 7 minutes, for example, before you go into the hyperbaric oxygen chamber, the effects of that are even more profound. And frankly, the relaxed sauna or far infrared energy stands alone as an incredible healing device. There is lots of research on it, as I indicated, and you can do your own research. I'm here to give you special information that you really not necessarily can get from all the research articles, and that's practical, hands down information on what it can do and what it has done. Again, we're in booth 415 over there, and we're only going to be able to put about 4 or 5 of you into the relaxed sauna today during this short presentation. But oh, by the way, how was the experience in the relaxed sauna?
It was nice.
Okay, it was nice, relaxed. Hot, yes. Now, in this particular sauna, if you get too hot, we have a very sophisticated temperature control, and you just unzip the zipper 4, 5, 6, 8 inches. A lot of people think that the heat is important, but I like to point out very, very succinctly that a prairie dog is not a dog. You all knew that, right? A prairie dog is more like a rodent. It's not a dog. A sea lion is not a lion. A seahorse is not a horse. A far infrared sauna is not a sauna. This is not a sauna. This is a far infrared sauna. It's a different creature. Saunas, if you go to Webster and you look on the internet, saunas work by heat, okay? They get you hot, you start sweating. Mayo Clinic says, heart patients, do not get into a sauna. Do not get into a hot tub. Your heart will have to race to find an equilibrium between the inside temperature and the outside temperature. Turns out, they say, Mayo Clinic says, study in 2004, far infrared saunas are one of the best things in the world for a heart patient. Totally one of the best things in the world, because the heart doesn't have to race to find an equilibrium. What far infrared does one thing. Far infrared energy does one thing. It sends off an energy that resonates with the organic cells of your body, with the water cells in your body, and it pulsates your water cells. All this does is pulsate your water cells. But that in itself is magical and has a cascading dynamic effect that can transform your health and your life. physically, mentally, emotionally. Do you all know how a washing machine works? A washing machine uses this invisible water, and the water actually, the clothes are pretty solid, but the water actually goes through the clothes, can you believe that? And penetrates every single fiber of the clothes, and every single fiber of those clothes, of that shirt, of that pair of pants is cleansed from the outside and the inside. Isn't that miraculous, a miracle? The far infrared healing light, in your mind, does the same exact thing with the cells of your body. It penetrates the solid body with a healing light and basically cleanses every cell of the body of the toxic debris, the metabolic waste, of heavy metals, of plastics, phthalates, dioxins, chlorine, and all the gunk in your body that interferes with your body functioning emotionally, mentally, physically, as it could or should. The cleansing of the body, the purification of the body is very important. In the 200 years ago, before the Industrial Revolution, you did not need necessarily a far-infrared sauna because you were already there, you were cleansed. But living in a toxic world, Doris Rapp wrote a book called Our Toxic World. She has recommended the relaxed sauna to many people, including Karen Russell at the 2007, that's a long time ago, it's called AIHM, I forget what it is, but it's a medical group. And anyway, this was Karen Russell before and after. She, for 2.5 years, had problems with heavy metal toxicity, and she had the effects of it where her body just wouldn't function properly. And she had tried all the things that are supposed to work, like cilantro and chlorella and whatever, and it didn't quite work. So she talked to Doris Rapp at the conference, and Doris said, go check out that sauna. And she decided to get it, and then she wrote the company a month later, 2 months later, and said, I have been getting blood reports on heavy metal toxicity, lead and mercury especially, for 2.5 years. It has been off, and it has been off. And when she got into the relaxed sauna and started doing it 20 minutes or 30 minutes twice a day, within a month, when she sent in for the blood report, her mercury and lead were normal for the first time in 2.5 years. Now, that's nice, but the most important thing is she didn't feel sick anymore. That's what's real. She felt good. She felt great. As a matter of fact, she reported to us within 2 months her cellulite decreased 65 to 70%. Forget about the fact that she didn't feel better. But this is important. Her skin was no longer dry. Her fat content went from 38 to 20%, and her skin texture dramatically changed as well. And so this is just, one of the reports. So I think we handed out to you, to number you, the heavy metal report. They decided the relaxed sauna is made in Taiwan, and they decided to do a little experiment. They put this young man in the sauna, and for 15 minutes they got him to give him some urine, and they tested the urine, and then he went into the sauna for 15 minutes, and the next time he gave some urine, they tested the urine, and they found out there was way more heavy metal, between 50% and 300% more heavy metals in the urine than there were before. And that's an indication that being in the relaxed sauna can get rid of heavy metals. Now, we went to the hyperbaric oxygen conference I was mentioning to you a number of minutes ago, and Dr. Sam Shore, who is president-elect of the Lyme organization called ILADS, said he got in the relaxed sauna. He had a wooden sauna in his home. He was reluctant to get in, but he did get in because his friends said, hey, it's good, get in. It may not look, like it belongs, it's sort of chinsy looking, but it works. And he got in, and in 5 minutes he started smiling. In 8 minutes he gave us his credit card, said, I want one. I've known him for 4 or 5 years now. His wife uses it all the time. His daughter uses it all the time. I think he does too. But he had a wooden sauna in his home, and a lot of people who have wooden saunas, and wooden saunas are great, wooden infrared saunas are great, but the relaxed sauna is better than great because it's more effective, because the technology is more advanced. And I'll go into the details on that in a little bit. But anyway, he said, you have to go to the Lyme show, you have to go to the Lyme show. And so we went to the Lyme conference, and before the conference started, we sold a sauna. I think we sold 43 saunas in one weekend, and that, like, oh my gosh, I usually don't sell more than 15 or 20 saunas in a weekend. But people get results, and with the relaxed sauna, you get results. And a lot of times people are reluctant, but Lyme disease is very important. If you go on YouTube and you do a search for relaxed sauna testimonials Lyme, you'll find that there's about 13 or 16 different testimonies from people who don't have symptoms of Lyme disease based on using the relaxed sauna. Now, we go to Lyme conferences. Like I said, we've been to about 5 or 6, and a lot of doctors who treat Lyme are vilified. They're made to. The government is not very nice to them for whatever reason, and they're acted like villains. They're like anyone treating holistic, because Lyme is, I'm not sure what it's supposed to be or not supposed to be, but now some people, and this is political, and it's not really, it doesn't matter, you know, in a sense, one of the, you know, how Lyme started, but Lyme disease is named after not the fruit that looks like a lemon, but it's named after the city in Lyme, Connecticut, and it's spelled L-Y-M-E, and there's no S after it. It's called Lyme disease, and the symptoms are very serious. They say, some people say, and it doesn't matter, that it was politically engineered as germ warfare, and that it was done on the island, maybe 5-10 miles from the city of Lyme, Connecticut, and somehow it escaped, or who knows what. But anyway, regardless of the origins, it's prevalent, and it's getting worse and worse and worse, and Lyme disease is debilitating, and people who have Lyme disease, or who think they have Lyme, or people who get really, really sick. And again, Dr. Sherry Rogers was dealing with people with environmental medical conditions, you know, where they're super sensitive to EMF or all sorts of other things. And what did they use? They used fire and fit saunas to fix that. As a matter of fact, people are, you know, like, you know, are really going crazy, being scared of this thing called EMF, electromagnetic frequencies. Well, there's good EMF, there's bad EMF, and there's neutral EMF. It used to be about 20, 30 years ago, everyone says fats are bad, fats are bad. You know, I don't believe anything. I don't disbelieve anything either. I like to be neither for nor against and put it out there, because once you believe something, you become the slave of that belief, and I'm not going to be the slave to anything, at least not consciously. It's sort of like we all are in a sense, but as we become aware, we can free ourselves from those beliefs that are controlling us. So relaxed sauna is a wonderful. Are you enjoying that? we like I said, I have put about 100,000 people in the relaxed sauna, and we get incredible results. What it does, it gives you a good feeling. A good feeling. You know, Dr. Sherry Rogers was, again, dealing with people who were environmentally sick, and a lot of them were concerned about, you know, the microwave ovens are not very healthy for you. Cell phones are basically microwave machines. You have smart meters. You have a lot of, you have Wi-Fi. You have 5G network. All these are energies that can cause stress, like a jackhammer. If there's a jackhammer right out there, it would cause stress. There are a lot of things that cause stress. Well, what gets rid of that stress? How about basking in divine love, being in the womb, being hugged by your grandma, being on the beach in Hawaii, or being in the presence of, as they say in Taiwan, a Qigong master. All these things get you centered. I have, of the research I've done and my experience, There is nothing that can get the parasympathetic nervous system activated as well as far infrared energy and the relaxed sauna. When people go in there, there's something that happens. There's something very magical that happens. It's like in Taiwan, they say it's like being in the presence of a Qigong master. And that's like, you know, a step-down version of divine love in the box. It's better than being hugged by your grandma. It's when you get those warm fuzzies. This is very, very important. And the feeling you get from being in the relaxed sauna or far infrared energy in general is magical. It is very magical. I've seen athletes who couldn't move their hand because of, you know, and we just got a testimony of this about 2 months ago, and all of a sudden he can do this after being in the relaxed sauna for 7 minutes. We have people who can move their arms like this. This happened in my store just last week. A lady, she says it's pain 7, 8. She can't move her arm. She's had it for 6 months. She's gone to massage therapists. She's gone to chiropractors. She's gone to acupuncturists and who knows who else. And she's done herbalists. And she actually works in a health food store, one not far from my own health food store. And she went in the sauna. I said, well, and she was trying to say, well, what do you have in terms of magnets that can help? I said, get in the relaxed sauna. And so she got in, she reluctantly, and within 7 minutes, her pain went from a 7 to a 2. She could move her arm, and she gave me a testimony. And this is how and why we have over 700 testimonies on YouTube. Yes.
How about people who have like screws in their body or titanium of some kind?
Oh, yes, that's a great question. Far infrared energy in the relaxed sauna specifically, all it does is pulsate the water molecules in your body. And it can therefore, it doesn't affect a pacemaker, it doesn't affect a titanium rod, none of that. It just affects the organic cells in your body. In other words, it's a frequency of light. Water vibrates at 8 microns. Human bodies and all mammals and dogs and cats and, like I said, all mammals and birds, they all vibrate at 9.4 microns. So if we can get an energy to go from 4 to 14 microns, that is called absorbable far infrared energy. What it does, it resonates with the cells in your body and only those cells. It will not resonate with titanium. It will not cause the titanium atoms to vibrate or anything like that. And what it does, by increasing by vibrating with the cells in the body, it'll increase the core temperature of the body. And that's the magic of what far infrared energy does. It increases core. There's a Dr. Paul Anderson. He has a cancer clinic in the Seattle area. He uses the relaxed sauna when he does IV therapy. I think they've got 4 or 5 of those. The naturopathic doctor school, the medical doctor school in Portland, Oregon, has 5 of these in their hypotherapy department. There's a lot of well-known, famous authors, including Dr. Bill Ackpinaar, who wrote the book No Sweat, No Sweat. He's been recommending far infrared saunas for many years. He wrote this book in 2007. Around 2010, he discovered the relaxed sauna and now recommends the relaxed sauna to his patients and calls it the Qigong sauna. About every week I get a call from one of his patients saying, hey, Dr. Bill said call you, that he wants me to have one of those saunas because I'm sick and whatever. But the relaxed sauna has been very helpful. When anyone has ill effects of being exposed to microwave ovens or EMF, the best thing in the world for them to do, believe it or not, is to go into the relaxed sauna. Because this will undo the stress caused by the energy frequencies of EMF, especially the bad EMF, causing problems. If you're near a jackhammer is going for 10-20 minutes, that'll stress me out, stress anyone out. Probably you go into the relaxed sauna. If you ever have shivers, if you ever have asthma, you go into the relaxed sauna, it goes away. The important thing is that far infrared energy is so wonderful for the heart, it is wonderful for the lungs, it is wonderful for the upper body. It's the best thing in the world for it because that's where all the organs are. And when you bathe in this healing light, when you bathe in it, when you bask in it, miracles can actually happen. It's just totally unbelievable, the results. An asthma attack will go away. It's one of the best things for anyone with bronchial problems. And of course, Lyme disease is a very, very serious ailment, and people don't know what to do with Lyme disease. But there are people, about 10 years ago, we got a lady Kim from Ohio, and I am from Ohio, for about an hour and a half from Columbus. And she said that she got the sauna on recommendation from her doctor, and it's, I think, the second or third to last page on here before you have the 4 pages of medical facts. And you can pick this up at the booth. That's booth 415. And you can also try the sauna at the booth for 5-10 minutes. And because magic happens when you go in for 5-10 minutes, there's a reason why I have 700 video testimonies on YouTube from people going in. Yes.
I just 2 questions.
Yes.
If you have somebody with trouble detoxing, MTHFR people.
Right.
Is that
The-
is
the-
there any contraindication?
N-
The second one is there any problem with somebody detoxing too fast? Any of those?
Okay, those are both good questions. The questions is MTHR, I'm not sure if I got those letters right. People who don't methylate. We go to a lot of medical conferences, and for people who don't methylate, far infrared saunas are essential. Essential. They will perform magic. As the other question, what was the other question again?
This will help them detoxing.
Yes, it will help detoxing. People who don't sweat, Dr. Roger Billica, he used to be director of medical operations for Nassau. He was the doctor who took care of John Glenn, and he now has a Tri-Light clinic in Fort Collins, Colorado. I think he's probably sold 150, 200 of the relax saunas to his patients. And he told me, for those who don't sweat, who are generally pretty sick, because if you can't sweat, there's something not right. And so people who don't sweat, who go into the relax sauna, and after they start sweating, there's a remarkable change in their healing journey. As a matter of fact, one of the people who worked in my booth prided herself on being a midwife for sweaters. She said there's never been anyone she couldn't get to sweat. At a dental conference, a holistic dental conference, one lady hadn't sweated for 10 years, another lady hadn't sweated for 20 years, and we got them both to sweat in 20 minutes. One person took more than a half an hour. It took her 51 minutes to sweat. But there's no such thing, as far as we're concerned, about a non-sweater. If they have the relaxed sauna, it will get you to sweat. And once you start sweating, it's a release. You know, people who like men who can't cry, you know, there's something not quite right. But once you start crying, it's a release. It's a release, and it's very, very therapeutic and very magical. You know, when that happens. Dr. Anderson, Dr. Paul Anderson, at his cancer clinic, he puts people into the relaxed sauna for an hour while they're doing IV therapy, and he can increase the core temperature 4.2 degrees from 98.6 to 102.8 degrees in 1 hour, and that's magical. Why is it magical? People with Lyme disease have spirochetes. Spirochetes don't like heat. There's a lady in Chicago who says that she has a protocol, and it's on YouTube, and she does it about every 4 hours. See, the spirochetes will procreate every 6 hours. They will procreate. So she puts them into the relaxed sauna for 20 minutes every 4 hours, and then she does this for a week and gets the core temperature up to whatever it needs to be, where all the spirochetes die. This is like I'm not sure, I won't recommend doing this without some advice, or a physician or a naturopathic doctor or a health consultant working with you. But even people who don't do this intense 1 week treatment with the relaxed sauna, even those people, you know, they just get the relaxed sauna, like Kim from Ohio, and she did it. And she said within 3 days she has her life back. The testimony is in here. It's the last testimony on about the 5th or 6th page from the bottom. She has her life back just doing the relaxed sauna. We have another lady who came into my store, and she said, yes, she got it a year ago, and she's normal now. And we met someone at the autism conference, because the relaxed sauna is one of the best things for autism, because it really gets kids down, it relaxes them, it's good for adults. I mean, if you go to all the testimonies, I mean, it's like, is this for real? You know, the testimonies we have, the experiences people have, there is nothing like an experience for 5 to 7 minutes. 20-minute sweats. Like I said when I first started speaking, that at age 55 I started using the Relax Sauna for 20 minutes every morning, and that was for 15 years. I've been in the Relax Sauna at least 5,000 times. On spa day for Phil, I drink about 8 ounces of water, I go in for 20 minutes, I get out, it seems like I drink about 16 ounces of water, I go in for another 20 minutes, sometimes I take a shower in between, but I drink 16, then I go in for a third set of 20 minutes, and when I get out, I can't believe I drink about a quart of water, but I feel great. Then I usually meditate or I go to sleep, and when I come back, and then after a couple hours later, I'll have a celery, parsley, spinach juice drink that I'll make, and I'll be on top of the world. And if you want to cleanse and do purification, like raw foods, healthy juice drinks, but the Relax Sauna is part of any protocol you use anywhere. It's going to be an adjunct, whatever protocol any naturopathic doctor uses. Yes.
Because we only have a couple minutes,
yes.
Could we open it up for questions? A couple people have questions.
Okay, yes. Okay.
How hot does this get?
It gets 130, 140 degrees right away. It can get up to 169, which is rare, but it can. If you get too hot, you just unzip the zipper, because the heat is not what's doing the healing. It's the healing light. It's the healing light resonating. Yes.
Hi, yes, I have a lay down one and I love it.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask you a question. First of all, is it more powerful for my clients, like endometriosis, for example, if they have real clothes on, or does it not matter at all?
It doesn't matter at all, because the far infrared goes through clothes. It goes through clothes.
And the other question
Yes.
is, I also have to put my head in there. If I put my head in there,
Yes.
cut your pores and it's so clear.
Yes. Yeah, I'm really a believer in choice. Pro-choice, I am. You have the choice to put your head inside or outside in the Relax Sauna. Putting your head inside is very, it's the best thing in the world for the sinuses. Just totally amazing how it can clear sinuses in 1 to 2 minutes. It'll clear sinus in 10 minutes with the head out, but 1 to 2 minutes with it in. Yes.
This is also great for people who are like claustrophobic and don't well.
Yes.
Like for some people, they can't sit in like the normal water.
Right.
So just as a comment, we're a lot more open to this one because you have that.
Claustrophobia, yes. People who go in here and they don't have claustrophobia like they normally do. And you can always have it unzip 5, 10, 15 inches, and you're still getting, remember the principle that it's the reflecting light, and the reflecting light resonating with you, so you can have that open 10, 15 minutes, not even, once you're sweating and you open it up 8 inches, you'll still sweat profusely. The main thing is you're comfortable heat-wise, and that's what you keep, and you'll be able to sweat greatly, yes.
How about for those individuals that have vascular headaches? Is this a good thing or does it make it worse?
Well, it's one of the best things in the world for high blood pressure.
No, vascular
You have vascular headaches, and
Nothing to do
so,
with high blood pressure.
yeah, and I don't know what a vascular headache, because I have a degree in mathematics, an honor degree, and 4 years of graduate school in math before I got into holistic health. So, again, it helps almost everything. Be your own guinea pig experiment. The only contraindicative of the relaxed far infrared sauna or far infrared saunas in general is dehydration, because it does pulsate the water molecules and you'll start sweating. What it does, it pulsates the water molecules, it increases core temperature, and that mobilizes the lymphatic system to be dynamic and get the toxins out and get the whole metabolic function of the body. It activates the parasympathetic system, it oxygenates the body, it creates nitric oxide in the body, and it increases microcirculation. So anyone with neuropathy, with diabetic ulcers, if you go to our booth, we have a medical lamp bigger than that, little one there, that's a table lamp, but the medical lamp is an FDA medical device. And we use 2 of the medical device radiators in the Relax Sauna. So this is medical device technology, is advanced technology. The other wooden saunas, they're really nice. The other portable saunas, they're okay. They're good. And if on a level though, if a regular sauna is a 2 And the other infrared saunas are, the portable ones are 3 or 4, and the wooden ones 5 or 6. The relaxed sauna is about a 9 because the technology is very advanced. They use semiconductor chips, and the semiconductor chips are able to filter out the near infrared, filter out the mid infrared, and give you pure, 98% pure far infrared energy, and that's magical. It's very magical because 98% pure works a whole lot better than 50% pure. Most people don't realize that this has about 9 times more far infrared ray than any other portable sauna and about 4 times, 6 times more far infrared ray. So if you have a supplement with 1 gram of C, that's going to work a whole lot better than 100 milligrams.
I just want to ask your question really fast. My mom has just vascular headaches. She has high blood pressure and vascular headaches. And she has her sauna. And the main thing is drink water before, water during, and water after. Take potassium and magnesium and calcium, and that will help that. But she, again, like Phil said, the contraindication is dehydration. You don't want to have the vascular headache, get in the sauna, and then it can, if you're not hydrated enough, it can make it worse. So, but if you take those precautions and take the potassium and the trace minerals, it will really help that. So we have to make room for the next speaker. I thank everybody for listening. You can come and ask Phil questions. We have a booth at 415. And we have about 5 or 6 saunas set up, so everybody, if you didn't have a chance to get in now, come to our booth and you can get in for longer than 5 minutes, and we'd love to see you. We can answer all your questions. We've got a lot of paperwork and literature, and we love our sauna. It also liquefies fat right off your body. You know, we can talk for 2 hours and still not go over everything that the sauna does. If there's any questions that you have, please come and ask us. And we do workout payment plans. With the saunas also free, okay, without interest free. Thank you, everybody.
Thank